From the Battle World portion on the website, the blog post, and the Envoy videos that we've seen so far, can we discern anything about Battle World? Let's take a look at the information that we know so far. Notice in the upper left-hand corner, we see a timer, and it says there that the season will end at that specific time. So we know that there are seasons and season rewards to Battle World. And if there's going to be season rewards, there's going to be a leaderboard. So I'm really curious to see what teams and what groups can make it on this leaderboard. Because you think about, say, Crucible, Arena, right? Obviously it's the biggest people, but not necessarily, right? Sometimes it's to the most coordinated that can get to those upper spots. Maybe not number one, right? It's usually just the biggest dogs that can get number one, but the most coordinated can get some of those upper spots, especially when it comes to raid and alliance war. So I wonder how things are going to fare when it comes to Battle World. There's also a Battle World store that has its own currency that must go with the game mode. So we see that currency there, and then it's up in the upper right-hand corner as well, next to the power cores. So I'm curious to see how this is going to work, what the currency is going to be like, how hard is it going to be to get. And of course we got purple there, so it must have something to do with purple ISO. Is this the only way to get it? You got to buy it, or can you earn it some other way while we're going through Battle World? That remains to be seen. At the top, we got that box. It says The Abyss Zone 1. There's a picture of Null, and underneath that, it says Difficulty 5. So I wonder how many difficulties that there's going to be in Battle World, right? I wonder how many, right? There's a difficulty button to the right of that. So is that where you change the difficulty? I don't know. Again, this is what we can discern so far. There are difficulties. I wonder how hard it actually will be on maximum. Who's going to be able to do that? Is anybody going to be able to do that day one? Very interested to find that out. On the right side, there's a box that says VP, right? Your victory points, 4,670. And then underneath that, there's a little bar that looks like it goes from 4,670 up to 20,000 victory points. And we see a picture of some ISO. It's blue ISO. And then there's more of that Battle World currency. So I wonder, as we fill this bar up, it says this is the next reward tier. So I wonder, as we fill this bar up, do we get more rewards? Do the rewards different? Are you able to get up into the purple ISO from this area as well? Or is there another spot that you got to go to get that? Is this mainly the way we're going to get the Battle World currency? Again, I'm not sure, but we have some indicators here on the user interface. I do want to draw your attention here to this statement that is on the Battle World portion of the website. It says higher difficulties will always reward larger quantities and higher tiers of isotope 8. So strategize with your alliance to maximize your rewards. So again, very curious to see how this is going to happen. By increasing our difficulty, does it increase the amount of points? And then that reward tier goes up? Or does the reward tier automatically go up just because we raise the difficulty? So as we enter, we see you can select a zone. And we see Gideon has done absolutely nothing, right? We got 0 of 30 waves defeated. So I haven't done anything, right? This is my progress, haven't done anything. And where am I at? It says I'm in zone 1. And then if we look down over here in the bottom right, we see zone 2, but it's locked. Okay, so zone 1, we're lit up, we're ready to go, but zone 2 down there is locked. So essentially, if we can move this bar up by getting our points, again, we see that same score we saw earlier, at 4,670. So as we get points up, hopefully then we can unlock zone number 2. Well, since it's locked, we can't look at that. Well, let's look inside zone number 1. And we see here it says select a mission. We got these different nodes. I got different amount of points on them. And this is where the strategy starts to come into play. So we see a node there that says city, and we see a node there that says Spider-Verse. So logically, right, I can use Spider-Verse teams on the Spider-Verse node. Spider-Verse characters are also city characters, so I could use them on the city node. But this is where the strategy comes into play, because the Spider-Verse node, it's worth more points, right? But you want as many points as you can possibly get. So what's the right thing to do? Do I go all in on one, all in on the other? Do I split my team up? Right? What if I can't? What if I'm not strong enough to clear either of the two nodes? Do I split my team up? Do I use 2 different teams? Right? That's going to be a choice. Those are going to be decisions that you're going to have to answer with your alliance. Right? We know, well, we got Spider-Verse and we got City. We got 2 good teams for that. That's true. But what about this cosmic section? Right? The strongest cosmic team right now is the Annihilators. So perhaps we could use them to knock one of these out, but we can only use them to knock one of these out. So we would need to maybe split our teams up if we're not strong enough. Or what if you can do, right, again, we can do one and not the other. That's going to be interesting. These are discussions that you're going to have with your alliance, how to maximize the points that you as an individual can get a hold of, thereby increasing the overall points in your alliance. So what do we got over here? We got Pegasus on the elite mission, and it's worth a lot of points, so it's probably difficult, right? It's probably difficult. But just like we remember it said in the blog post, you just do what you can. Get as many points as you possibly can, even if you can't clear all the waves. So I wouldn't power up. Don't power up your Pegasus. I wouldn't be powering up your Pegasus right now. But again, this is maybe for some of us, this is just going to be bonus points. For the bigger alliances, maybe they got giant Pegasus and they can just drop a bomb on this. And for those of us who had not invested up to this point, we just get what we get. And that's all part of the fun and games. Next to that, we have special operations. And this is the special operations screen. So it looks like they said that these are passive missions that you can send your guys into. Interested to see how that's actually going to work in an alliance. I mean, like if I have, let's say we got Loki there. Let's say I have Bifrost because they're not doing anything. I can send him on a mission because he's not doing anything else. Right? That's easy decision. If I'm not going to use them, might as well send them on a mission. But what if the mission calls for Mercs for Money characters like Panda Pool? Mercs are really strong, right? The Mercs for Money are really strong. So is it better for me to use them in the nodes, or is it better for us as an alliance to decide to send some of them on these special operations? Again, that's going to be great discussions that we're going to be able to have in our alliance. Really curious to see how it's going to work out. At some point, we get over to Null, right? We got Null's throne. At some point, we get over to Null. It says that we have to unlock zone number 5. Excuse me, that's not what it says. It says complete zone number 5. So beat zone number 5 to unlock the opportunity to go after Null. And he has 539 million hit points. He's over 500 million. That's impossible. Well, it looks like that's what's going on. So here's him with his 539 million hit points. Big old health bar. We see his abilities there. He's got crimson gear. He's got crimson gear on. So, hey, I mean, it's going to be cool. They said he's going to be unlockable. So those are his abilities. We'll see how they actually work. It's been stated that he's going to work differently as the boss than he is for a character. And we don't have any information on how we would unlock him as a character. But again, it does say there on the website that the bosses gain additional bonuses and immunities that you and your allies will need to strategize around. So I'm interested to see what extra bonus abilities Null will have that makes it difficult for us as a whole. It also says he's going to have a horde of symbiotes. And in this picture, we see a ton of symbiotes in the background. I wonder if they'll be making an entrance. Will they be the regular characters? Will they somehow be enhanced? Will they be different? I will tell you this. I was playing in the raids earlier today and I didn't think anything about it. Knocked Gore out and Red Goblin revived him because I forgot that Gore has the symbiote tag. So I wonder how dangerous Red Goblin's going to be. If he starts popping up in these nodes and then you got a Null and a bunch of other symbiotes, that could be an issue. Hey, this is just a recap of the stuff that we got so far. This is the stuff that's been on the website, that was in the blog post, that was in the other Envoy videos. I'm really curious to hear what you think about Battle World. I'm super excited. I'm thinking this might end up being my favorite game mode. I want to know what you guys think about it. Hopefully you're taking care of yourself and your family. Hey, I want to know, are you looking forward to this game mode or not? Are you more of a player versus player type individual, or are you more of a player versus environment type individual?